The story of Emmett Till was an inspirational catalyst for the civil rights movement. Emmett Till was a young boy born in Chicago on August 25, 1941. He was born into a middle-class family. His parents, Mamie and Louis Till, served the country. His mom served as a clerk in the Air Force, and his dad was in the Army.
Emmett went to his cousin's house in Money, Mississippi with his uncle when he was 14. 3 days after arriving, his life came to an end. After a long day of picking cotton in the sun, he and his friends went to Brian's grocery store to buy refreshments. His friends dared him to flirt with the owner's wife. Nobody knows for sure if he had actually flirted with her or not, but the owner's wife, Carolyn Bryant, said that Emmett Till had whistled at her.
Carolyn Bryant claimed that Emmett Till had allegedly whistled to her, so her husband Roy Bryant was infuriated. That night, her husband and half-brother J.W. Milam kidnapped Emmett and beat him to the point where he was unrecognizable. They dumped his mutilated body in the Tallahatchie River after shooting him in the head. His body was found 3 days later and sent back to Chicago. His mom had an open casket funeral to show the entire nation all of the injustices her son had to go through. The open casket funeral horrified and angered thousands of people.
During the investigation, Roy Bryant and J.W. Milam were rounded up as suspects, arrested, and charged with murder. The two men were tried before an all-white jury in Mississippi. After a 5-day-long trial, the judge returned a verdict of not guilty. After the trial was over, the men both admitted in an interview that they had killed Emmett Till. Since they couldn't be tried again in court for the same crime, they got to walk as free men. Their shop had later closed.
At the time, the NAACP were working hard to gain equal rights for blacks in the South. The murder indictment against Milam and Bryant was the first time a white man was indicted for killing a black person. In Mississippi, more than 500 lynchings had occurred since 1880, but nobody paid as much attention to them until the story of Emmett Till was released. This was the first time a young boy had been awfully killed. Therefore, it became a more relevant case, which is why Emmett Till's death galvanized the civil rights movement.
Rosa Parks was a black woman who helped the movement. She was told to get out of her seat on the bus so a white person could sit there, but she refused to when she thought of the unjust death and trial of Emmett Till. His murder instigated the civil rights movement because he made Rosa Parks confident enough to stand up for herself against the racist white man. Her arrest led to the Montgomery bus boycott, where thousands of African Americans boycotted the Montgomery bus systems and refused to ride the city transportation. On June 5, 1956, a Montgomery federal court ruled that any law requiring racially segregated seating on buses violated the 14th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution.
To honor Emmett's death, a memorial was created where his body was found. Multiple signs have been vandalized. The sign was the victim of several attacks from the Ku Klux Klan, but was remade and since nothing has happened.
In a recent interview in 2007, Carolyn Bryant, the clerk of the store who had accused Emmett Till, said that whatever she said in court were all lies, and that Emmett Till had never flirted with her or even deserved to die this gruesome death.
If it weren't for Emmett Till, Rosa Parks would have never had the courage to take a stand. Her brave decision caused the Montgomery bus boycott. The boycott led to segregated seats being negated. It brought attention to the civil rights movement.